We are halfway between Whakatane and Rotorua today to check out the Tarawera River and the Tarawera Falls. It's supposed to be a spectacular waterfall coming out of some old volcanic lava flow, a beautiful crystal clear blue river with a lot of vegetation that actually is relatively new. The vegetation along this river sprang up since 1886, which is the last time Mount Tarawera erupted and covered all of this land around the river in lava, destroying the vegetation. So only the last couple hundred years has this regrowth occurred. So this land is what they call Maori Trust land. It's owned by the Maoris, and it is an active logging area. So private property, to gain access here, you have to get a permit at the I-site. Permits are $10. And then you want to make sure when you're driving on the unsealed road to look out for the logging trucks, because they can swing pretty wide with those logs, and they are very long. They kick up a lot of dust and rocks. So just give them enough space. Take your time on the road, about a 40-minute drive once you get on the dirt part, but pretty mellow, pretty scenic, only a couple other cars at the trailhead. So we're gonna have this place pretty much all to ourselves. So there it is, 65-meter Tarawera Falls. You can see there's cracks in the rhyolite on the left-hand side where the water's coming through. There's kind of chasms in the volcanic rock there, which at one time was lava flow. When it gets heavy rain, it comes out through the top of that really narrow crack in the top, that really narrow canyon at the top. Normally it doesn't flow from there, the highest point, only after heavy rains. So about a 20-minute or half-hour walk to the waterfall from the car park. I think it took us a bit longer because we're going slow. And now we're headed to the Tarawera Outlet. So there's a lake that feeds this river, Lake Tarawera. And where the lake empties into the river, it's called the Tarawera Outlet. And that is a 2-hour one-way walk, which starting to get a little elevation gain now, but it seems relatively flat. Nice wide trail. Probably going to be not too difficult. Well, with the volcanic activity in the area, there's a lot of interesting rocks on the side of the track. You'll see large boulders, and this little piece here, this cross section is exposed, and you can see pieces of obsidian volcanic glass, most likely what dragon glass was based off of in Game of Thrones. It's a black, really shiny glass-like material. It's volcanic, it's super sharp. You can make scalpels from it, but it tends to flake. But that's how sharp it gets. It's strong and it will flake, but it won't break. So they used to make scalpels out of it. You can make something almost like a razor blade out of obsidian. So there's clay holding the different pieces of obsidian together, the clay balls, most likely compacted through, erosion, water flow over time, mash those things together, and then you get something like this. So we are at the top of the waterfall right now, and right there is the very top of that crack where the water is flowing through at the very top of the waterfall. Really fascinating. There's several boulders. The river goes under and then comes out at the top of this stunning, magnificent waterfall. So there were two ways to get to where we're headed, and one of them said the Cascade Way, which was 5 minutes longer. But man, there's a ton of small little cascades on the way, so definitely recommend heading this way, the Cascade. It's worth the 5 extra minutes, I think. Well, we have seen some beautiful places here in New Zealand. I mean, so many beautiful places. This, I hesitate to say it, but this might be the most beautiful place that we have seen in New Zealand so far. Crystal clear blue water, beautiful waterfalls, interesting vegetation, very few people, no bugs. So we haven't encountered mosquitoes or sandflies at all yet. And we still got hour and a half, 3 more hours, hour and a half, 3 hours round trip to go, but this might be the most beautiful place in New Zealand that we've seen.
Infamous.